with Chris Gayle. Other interaction.
Few words exchanged between Yuvraj and Flintoff.
The verbal warfare has not just persisted but flared up, and it remains one of the hottest topics in the sport. Right or wrong, where do you draw the line?
The occasion when the term sledging was used, it's got nothing to do with what originally, it had nothing to do with what happened on the cricket field, and so I don't acknowledge it as a term that relates to things happening on the cricket field. I look at it as you've got gamesmanship, which has been around ever since the game was played. W.G. Grace, it's well and truly recorded that he indulged in it, and it's been indulged in for ever. And I think it's a legitimate part of the game, and in fact it's probably responsible for a lot of the humour that is written about the game of cricket and spoken about the game of cricket. That's gamesmanship, not a problem with that. It's smart, and there is a place for it in the game. Right. Then you've got abuse. There's no place in the game for that. And if a player is abusing an opposition player, then the umpire needs to step in, say to the player or say to the player's captain, mate, if you don't cease, then you'll be on the sheet. You'll be reported and you'll probably miss a couple of games. So if you don't want to miss a couple of games, put a zipper on. And if he keeps going, suspend him, and suspend him for a serious amount of time. Let the players know we're not standing for it. There's another thing that has become much more prevalent, I think, in recent times, and that is inane chatter.
What are you averaging? You must know your average. 9, 10? I think it's 9.
And that, to me, is the most... I mean, I'm sitting 150 metres away, hearing it occasionally through, the on-ground microphones in the commentary box, and it drives me mad from that distance. I do not believe that batsmen... I cannot believe that batsmen put up with it. A batsman is entitled to some peace and quiet when he's out in the middle. If I'm batting and someone is yakking his head off, I'm just going to stand back and say, mate, it's a long day, because I ain't facing up till you shut up. And by doing that, you let the umpire know that you're not happy about it. And if the umpire doesn't step in and stop it, all right, then I'm taking the law into my own hands. And I'll tell you exactly what I'll do. When I get to the non-striker's end, as the bowler starts to run up, I'll start talking to the bowler. Now, we've got a problem, because the umpire's obviously going to speak to me. And I'm going to say, mate, this is a two-way street out here. If the fielding side are allowed to talk, then why aren't I allowed to talk? If you don't want me to talk, there's a simple solution. You stop those guys in the field talking, you won't hear a word from me. But as long as you're going to allow them to carry on with that inane rubbish, then I'm going to talk to the bowler. So get it sorted out. And I mean, the thing you do then is you bring it to a head. Obviously you're going to be up in front of the referee. I'll say the same thing to the referee, and then when I get referred to the ICC, I'm going to say the same thing to them, and up to them to sort it out. But I cannot believe that batsmen allow that inane rubbish to be spoken all the time. A batsman's entitled to peace and quiet, and he should get it.
Well, zip it, says Ian. We put the same question to 2 other Australians and a South African.
Look, I generally would say, and I've said a number of times, that there is too much attention paid to it. I don't think it is as bad as a lot of people do make out, but then you get a situation like Sydney last year with Australia and India. You get a situation where things got out of hand, but once again, it wasn't so much sledging. It was 1 or 2 words that the Australians took offence to, and it ballooned from there. I think all you can do is try and put the leaders together on a regular basis and say, all right, players these days are much more aware of sensitivities, political sensitivities around the world. So you need to put them together when situations do happen and say, righto, where are we going to take this? Do we want to take this to the public over the next 4 or 5 weeks? Or do we want to handle this here right now and get it sorted? I think that's the way we've got to try and take it. The quicker we can sort it out on the spot with the leaders, the people who are involved, the better the game will be. As I said, the more time it's left to fester, the worse it does get. That gives us commentators more opportunity to discuss it and then make it into something bigger than it probably was.
I think it depends on which team you play for and which side of the fence you sit, whether you call it sledging or mental. this integration. I think that byplay between batsmen and bowler and sides is part of the game. So I'd like to see the umpires more empowered and put their foot down, and for players to respect the code of conduct when it comes to how they deal and talk to each other.
I've always thought it's been overrated. I don't think it's as big as people think. I think we have 1 or 2 incidents a summer that bring it to the fore, and we all go berserk about it. We saw the ugly incident, Australia via India in Sydney last year, which brought it very much to the fore about players' reaction to one another and taking it out of the sportsmanlike manner in which we're accustomed to. And the Australians got hit hard ultimately out of that and were seen to be too rough and ready when it comes to the game of cricket, and they need to be pull their socks up. But they played hard. I played hard when I was in the team. There was an attitude of playing hard always. I don't think sledging's an issue. I really don't. And if they overstep the mark, I think there's enough in place now for them to be reprimanded very quickly. And all these guys, all these teams, they want to send the right message to the public. They understand that it's important to be seen in the right light.